everyone, Linda here, the scrapbooking photographer. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today is very exciting. I'm so looking forward to doing this page. It is a hop that we do every year at the beginning of February. I'm a little bit late this year, but that's because I've been celebrating a birthday with family and friends, and that's what I'm going to be scrapbooking today. So Groundhog Day is something to scraplift our own design. This is my third year doing Groundhog Day. The first year I did this page with the Are We There Yet set from Close to My Heart. And then last year I did this one also with papers from Close to My Heart. So you'll see that the theme is fussy cutting around some fairly iconic paper. So this year I'm using the Wildflower Celebrations paper from Stampin Up, and the iconic paper in this pack is these birthday cakes. So what I'm going to do is trim from one side to the other. This hop is the brainchild of Jackie Malzahn, and if you haven't played before, then it's really good to revisit the same layout and see what you can do to upscale it, change it, alter it to be a little bit different but the same. So what I'm going to do to be a little bit different this year is switch the sides of the paper. You'll see here I am trimming from left to right rather than the other way around, which the other two pages have been in previous years. And I'm not sure I need the whole half a page, so I'll trim this and then decide. I can always trim a little bit off it if I need to. I'll just work myself around these cakes. This paper is gorgeous. It could be used for weddings as well, I suppose, because they're tiered cakes in these pictures, and there's a little bit of gold throughout as well, so I'll bring that into the page as well. Now I started down the bottom with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so I'm going to go straight up here just in case I decide to trim a little bit off, and that makes them fairly even. If I take one line of cakes off, that will just bring it over a little bit and give us a bit more room underneath. Right, I think that's better. Now the other thing that we do is pick a coordinating piece of paper to go underneath and use it totally on one side and partially on the other. And I think from this pack I quite like this colour here. It's a shame to cut up such beautiful paper. I think that's going to go quite nicely under there. Right, so we'll come back to those in a moment. We've got the birthday celebrations and Simply Said stamps from Stampin' Up. We've got some alphabet dies, and we've got some birthday celebration dies. I've also got the coordinating pack of two-tone paper to work in with it, and the photos I've got are from my recent birthday celebration. We had a Greece themed party, and all the girls in my generation were pink ladies, so we all got our jackets and had a lot of fun talking about them as we got them, because some were in Australia and in different parts of New Zealand. My son's dog even got a little pink lady's jacket, so she was an honorary member of our team. And my youngest son also gave me a little Instax camera, so we've got a couple of Polaroids there to add into the mix, and my cake and cutting the cake. So let's see first how those photos are going to sit without the background paper. and then we'll decide how much of it we need. Some of these might need a little bit of trimming, but I'm thinking this one could go here. Then we'd have the pink ladies over this way. And I might fussy cut a Riley out for there. And then have these two trimmed a little bit down the bottom. And then these ones I thought might work on a little banner thing there. So we'll see how we go. Might just need to trim that a little bit. So this paper does have a direction. It either goes that way or that way. So I think we'll make sure both go that way. I need to fussy cut her out. So I don't want to trim off her tail. These jackets were so much fun to get. And there's one of these photos shows Riley from the front. So my dogs went to a carer for the night because they just would have been a little bit too much with all the people at the house when we had a party. And also I wanted to focus on the people that were visiting rather than be worrying about where the dogs were all the time. Now, unfortunately, this is just nipped off the end of her nose, but if we put it against a piece of black, I don't think it will matter. Riley, of course, is used to, Riley belongs to my son, and she's used to having other dogs here when she comes to visit, so she was quite surprised at only being the one dog and didn't have a problem at all getting all the attention for herself. Right, so she can fit in like that, I thought. And this, I think, will go to the edge of our iconic paper. So we need to trim it about there. So that obviously is narrower than we need, but we don't need to waste it underneath the edge there. So let's pop that to one side and get this page sorted first. I always tend to start with the right hand page when I'm doing a double spread. I'm not sure why. Do you do that, or do you do left to right, which somehow seems more logical, but for some reason I always end up doing this side first. Now I think these photos might look quite good if we bring out some of this pink. And this is two-sided colour, so we've got darker and lighter, and we might go lighter. So I'll just cut a couple of mounts for these. It was a very fun night. And the fun part is that now I get to relive it all by scrapbooking the memories. Now we could do that with Riley. That's what we might do there, just to get her tail in here and her nose in against the black. So I'm going to stick that down and then we'll work on the left hand page. So those are stuck, and obviously there's some embellishing and things to be done there. But let's just move to the left hand page and get that basically sorted so that we can then do all the prettying. So these photos were taken by my oldest son, who has developed an interest in photography, which is very handy for events like that. Right, so we'll cut a little bit off the edge here to save as much of both sides of this very pretty paper. And on this one we decided the little white bits go up and down, so we'll do the same here. That was a bit of a fluke because I forgot to check before I cut it. I'll stick that down. I'm interested to see how everybody else's Groundhog days have developed over the past year and what they're doing, and also to see some new people on the hop. I missed the first year, but as I say, this is the third year I've taken part. Even though I'm late, I didn't want to miss it because it's a very cool idea. And one thing I did last year was bring in some strips around the outside, and I'm going to do that this year as well with some gold, just to bring out this metallic colour again. And you may wonder why the edge of the cake is missing off this, and that's because it fell off during transport, so we did kind of touch it up a bit, but for this photo I just thought we'd use the one that hasn't got the edge on it. So these two can go down here, and again I think we'll mount them. This one I couldn't quite make into a square because I didn't want to chop off the bottom of the glass, so we'll pop that there. Just before I stick anything, I'll bring the other page in and we'll see if we can get it lined up. So I might put that one up a little bit higher, just so that we get the pink even at the top there. These two, it doesn't really matter. So I'll go ahead and mount those three. Alrighty. So we can probably stick those down, I think. This pink colour is called Pretty in Pink, and it's one of the in colours with Stampin' Up. Now, I am a demonstrator for Stampin' Up, so that's why the bulk of my products that I use are Stampin' Up products. Make sure they're straight. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put in the strips that we had in the last Groundhog Day. So I've cut 3 strips here, and I think that we might need a 4th, but we're going to put one down that side and down this side after that first row of cakes, and the same on that side, and then we'll put this one the same distance up like that, and then this one will go underneath, so we're just going to need bits of it there, there and on there. So I'll need another strip. Right, so I've got these, so again we'll put the left hand side over there, and we'll stick these down while we're going. And using the cakes as a bit of a guide means that we'll get it relatively straight as well. And one across the bottom, so about there. Okay, now the same distance at the top, and that will bring it underneath that photo just, so we can trim it a little bit there. And we need a little bit, I'll just take the bit off here that's got the edge on it. And straighten that up. Now to get that kind of even, if I line that up so that it's straight on the mat, and that's coming in at 2, that line goes right across to here. Right, and then we'll bring in this one and do the same thing. So putting that on the dotted line, you can use a straight edge. Now this should line up if I use the same method of going in at the 2, but we'll check it before we consider it done. Yep, cool. So this one is going to go along here. Same thing, we'll put it under that same line, and we can take a bit off it, which we might be able to use down the bottom, and then use the cakes again as a bit of a guide to keep it straight on the way in. Okay, and this one will go all the way down. we've got, just need to trim and straight edge on that one. We need to get the bottom lined up with the other page. Yeah. Now, if we put this on that line, that dotted line, then we're looking at that 10, or number 10. So if we put it on the dotted line, this little one just sneaks behind here to give the illusion that the gold goes all the way across. Okay. With the pages together. Now I need to put these 3 photos on here. And I think we need a contrasting colour for the garland. I'm going to cut that out of the birthday celebrations kit of the same pink colour. What I think we might do is just trim a little bit off and have it going through here, and trim a little bit off and have that going through there. While I was cutting things out, made this little tassel, which I thought we could put there, and that just brings a little bit of attention to it. I'll stick that down like that. In the pack that comes with these papers, there's also these cutout ones that we could cut out, so there's certainly something there that we might be able to use for a journaling box. And just see how we go with that one. And the other thing that I like is this page of die cuts. I think the balloons might be quite kind of handy. I'm thinking something like that. Now that's a little different to what I've done in previous years, but it's all about evolution of this layout. We'll have a little think about that. That's 1, 2, and I need something smaller down this side, and perhaps that slice of cake just next to there is the way to go. So I've got plenty more pages to do to complete this celebration. So we could do, I've got like the balloons there against the green. I'm not so sure about those two, so we'll see. Cake could perhaps go there. Let's decide about that. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is cut out this little journaling box here and see what that looks like on the bottom. Quite like this piece, and I cut that piece out as well because it's got the blue and the pink, and that kind of helps that to fit in that way, I think, leaving this bit here free for, and that covers her cut off tail quite nicely too. Could cut it off there so that we keep the gold string. I might do that and stick those 3 things. Okay, so we can have those kind of going up that side. And these ones just give us a little bit of space to write. Probably need a little bit more in the middle there. Right, turn this over and trim those flowers off. And this one we're going to stick the cake right there in the middle. And the birthday celebrations die cuts come with these numbers that I can cut out. I'll do the numbers in the same pink cardstock that we had, and I'll back it with this green colour which matches in here quite nicely. So rather than the green, I think I might try this same colour here and make a circle to go up there. I made one from the Spotlight on Nature circles. Pop those big numbers in there. I thought that looks quite cool there, just like that. And the other thing that I thought was, there's a banner that comes with the birthday celebrations from Stampin' Up, and it cuts that, and I thought if I pop that there, that will make an extra little piece of journaling box. And then over here, I feel it needs something there, but I'm just not quite sure what, unless I have a look at the die cuts. No, it's too big. That actually isn't too bad. And that kind of balances with that big one there. So we might do that, I think. And I'll also stick this one down because I think that's just a bit of a nod to last year's layout. Plus I like the squiggly bits. I'll put that side there. And we'll also stick, need to stick these down and stick this down. I hope you've enjoyed watching this come together today. It never turns out quite the way that you think it will in your head, or it doesn't for me anyway, but sometimes it falls together nice and easily, and I feel that this one has today. If you are a subscriber to my channel, thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, then I'd really like to invite you to push the subscribe button and maybe even the bell as well, and get notified of when new videos get released on my channel. I'm trying very hard to get to 500 subscribers at the moment, and I'm hoping that that's going to happen in the first half of this year. So I'd love to have you on board for that excitement. Right, I'll just do my journaling off camera. Journaling done, and the last thing we'll do is add a couple of little party dots, which also come in the Wildflower birthday celebration kit. Doesn't need too many. So that is my 2025 edition of Groundhog Day. I'm so glad that the iconic paper worked well for some very current photos. The celebration was only last weekend, which is why my video is late. I apologise for that, but once it's up there, it will be there forever. So enjoy, and if you'd like to copy the layout, I'd be honoured. I wonder what 2026 will bring for Groundhog Day. Please make sure you watch everybody else's videos and enjoy going through the hop, and I will see you next time. Happy crafting!